Hello and welcome to Shrinky-Dinks. I am Facepalm Girl and I am going to be showing you how I make my Shrinky-Dinks. So I have a design here that I designed on the computer and printed out on just regular paper, and then I took some of the clear plastic and just set it over top. And I've already done the black, so I'm just going to go over the red now. Okay, now that it's done, I'm going to cut it out and punch a hole. It's all cut out now, and I just kind of rounded out the edges so that when it shrinks, it'll be a lot easier for me to grind the edges and make them nice and smooth. So now I'm going to punch a hole, because after it shrinks, it's going to get about that thick, which is pretty thick, and it's going to be almost impossible to make a hole afterwards. So it's very important that you punch a hole before. So I have my hole puncher, and I just go like that. There we go, hole punched. So now that my design is done, cut out, and my hole is punched, it's time to bake. So, this is Shirley, my toaster oven. I got her at a thrift store for $1 maybe, and it works fantastically. And I like using toaster ovens because I usually can only make 1 or 2 at a time, and I don't want to heat up the whole entire oven for 2 Shrinky-Dinks. So it's good because it's small, and when I'm done I can put it away and I won't have to use as much electricity to make the Shrinky-Dinks. So Shirley is plugged in, and I'm going to place my Shrinky-Dink right here on the tray. And I line the tray with aluminum foil because you never bake them on just the pan. You always have to have something there. And I recommend using aluminum foil rather than parchment paper or anything else, because parchment paper, I've learned, burns. So, not a good idea. Aluminum foil, you can just keep it cut about the sheet you want, make it the size so that it fits, and you can just reuse it over and over again. So, it's easy. So now my oven is set to 250 degrees Fahrenheit or 120 degrees Celsius, and the temperature is based on the size of your Shrinky-Dink, because the lower the temperature, the longer it is going to take to shrink. And for bigger pieces, you want it to be longer, that way it has less of a chance to stick together when it curls up. So I put my design in, make sure that it's right, it's design side up, because if not it would actually stick to the foil, and that's not good. Then I just turn my oven on and wait. Alright, there you go, it's starting to curl up. This is normal. This is what it's supposed to do. It curls up first, and then it flattens out. Now that it was all curled up, it is going to flatten out completely again. And luckily, it didn't stick to each other. You always want to be careful, because sometimes it will stick together and it is a pain in the butt to get apart again. So once it is completely flat, we will wait 30 seconds. Alright, 30 seconds are up, and I'm just going to turn the oven off, open the door, which is going to be hard doing with one hand, Ooh, I almost burnt myself. And then we take it out. And it is completely shrunk. Now, because it is extremely hot and still soft, you can bend it because it's completely malleable. And what I do is I take a flat spatula like so. I place it on top. I just press down as hard as I can. This helps it flatten out. Make it nice and flat. And there we go. The Shrinky-Dink is almost done. All we have to do now is wait for it to cool. And what I do is I always grind the edges because sometimes they get very, very sharp and pointy. So I use my special little tool to make sure the edges are nice and smooth. Alright, now that it's nice and cool, I'm going to grind the edges because it's got a few little jagged pieces. And this is my special tool. It's called the Chisel-It. I have no idea where to get one because my grandma already had one and I found it. Get away from me, fly. And it just has a button, and you just press the button and it spins, and you just put in the little interchangeable tools and it causes them to spin. Easy. So first I use this silvery grinding cone. That's a term I made up. And I just kind of go along and just shape it, really. This one is really rough, and it's just gonna get it in the shape, really, that I want it. And I also like to do the edges to get them nice and smooth, whatever. Alright, so I'm done with this tool, and the edges, they feel really rough, but it's a good start, and it got the edges as smooth as I need them to be. It just doesn't feel very smooth. So I'm going to take away some of the roughness using the fine sanding cone, another term I've invented, and I'll just go back edges over all the edges. What this is going to do is it's going to make it feel smoother, but it's still not completely smooth. Alright, now the edges are smoother, but I still have a few more steps. Next, I'm going to use the little buffing wheel. And what this is going to do, this is going to make it super smooth, which is what I want. Okay, now the edges are nice and smooth. I'm just going to do one last step. You don't have to do this. I usually do. My tool has this little brush, and what this is going to do is it's just going to kind of make the edges shiny. And it's also going to pick up little pieces of hanging plastic that the buffing tool might have missed. So it's not a necessary step, but it's a nice one. Alright, it is all done, and I'm covered in plastic dust. Now the edges are nice and smooth, and it is ready for anything, really. You can put it on a keychain because of the hole I punched. You can put a ring on it. You could make it a keychain, you can put on a bracelet, even a necklace, basically anything. And even if you don't punch holes, you can use glue or these things, which are little glue dots. They're sticky on both sides, so you can stick one onto the back of the Shrinky-Dink and then stick the other part onto, say, a hair clip or a barrette or something, like I did with these. And because I have clear ones, I can basically trace anything I can imagine. And with the white ones, I could draw anything I want. And that's what's so great about Shrinky-Dinks, is you could basically do anything. And just to show you, this is the size of the original design, and this is how it came out. Yeah, it gets pretty small. Well, thank you all for watching, and have a nice day.